Hello and welcome to IRL F2 here in Hungary for round 9. I'm going to be your commentator today, of course, Kevin Harrison, as I have kind of on and off in the past few weeks. Hungary today then, of course, 14 corners occupies the 4.3 kilometer circuit, and overtaking, although difficult, is possible down to turn 1, and in some ways as well, I guess, down towards turn 3 if you get a good run off the hairpin. In terms of the championship, Ross Denholm has reached 100 points flat. Timber Salients trails him by just 3 points after getting a podium last week. Ross Denholm only 4th, so Timber Salients took back a few points there. And in terms of 3rd and 4th, of course, Ivan and Adrian, who are looking like people who could fight for the championship. Ivan now 14 points off, and Adrian some 21 points away from being first in the championship. So if they want to really make a statement in the championship, I think today's going to be the day to do it. And of course as well, Timber Salients, who hasn't actually got a win this season, is going to be looking for his first here today, as he has been for the rounds that has passed. Of course, he just hasn't got that last little bit that he needs. It's been luck sometimes, it's just been wrong place, wrong time. Hopefully it comes together for him today. Of course, he's got his teammate here as well to help out, as we see Matt, I think it's Matt that should be first. He's got his teammate a little bit down the line as well of Jack Uden and the other Mercedes, so we'll just go on board with him. I am going to have to get this tweet out quickly, if I can find the stream link. And that should do it. So the tweet is out now, and we just see Matt doing a 17.1 and his teammate there, Jack Uden, going quite a bit faster, 16.4 for him. As we see Connor Setchell on the mediums as well in 18.0, clearly not a competitive lap time considering Matt done a 17.1, so he's some 9/10 away from the next best medium runner. Of course, there's a few more people to be doing medium runs, as we are going to see Adam Corrigan crossing over the line in a second. He's going to go way too wide, but he's going to be able to complete it anyway, a 15.8 for the Irishman, and he puts himself on provisional pole. Of course, still plenty of people left to be setting laps. Kieran Spears is just finishing up. There's some people ahead. He's invalidated. He's just going to try and find who is this car. There you go. Actually, it was Adrian Lennon who was just starting a lap. So Kieran Spears then is going to be the next one to finish a lap as he opens up DRS and across the line, and he's going to go 3rd on the mediums and go quickest on the mediums as well, 16.9 for him. So fairly good lap, you can say, as Adrian Lennon will go on board with Adrian Lennon. Tim is not out of the pit lane yet, and Ross Denholm has not gone in the lobby yet. He said he would be running late, but I think he should be able to make it anyway, as we see Adrian Lennon setting what it says to be a purple sector 1. He's going to need it to be a purple sector 1 on today of all days. He's trading 21 points in the championship. He was the championship leader just a few rounds ago. I think the last time that he would have led was maybe like Spain or something like that. I can't really remember. As you can see, Adrian's teammate goes provisional pole with a 15.5, goes about 3/10 quicker than Adam Corrigan in 2nd place. Is Adrian Lennon, of course, going through the penultimate and final corner, turn 13, and then the final turn 14 is someone else improved there. Louis Quinlan goes 3rd. We're going to see what Adrian Lennon can do. Can he make a statement? As he's going to go across the line, he's going to make it a front row lockout for Alpine there, but just couldn't get really anywhere close to his teammate, as he's roughly 3/10 away, so he's going to need to close up that gap. As no one else currently on lap, everyone's pretty much getting back to the pit lane at the moment. The next one to set a lap is not sure. It looks like an AlphaTauri is going to be next. Unless that's... no, it's Luke Quinlan. So, Hamrick or Luke? Or, no? Who's in front of him then? Is it an Alpine? It is an Alpine. Okay, so it is going to be Luke. So we'll just find Luke then as into the pit lane for Ehrman. And starting his lap, Luke Baker, of course, on the medium tyre. 3 other people have gone for the mediums. The mediums, realistically, is the better tyre to be starting on, because it just gives you the better strategy. Medium hard is the better strategy. Of course, you can do a soft hard, but those softs do go off. Of course, we on board with Luke Baker now, as of course through the left-hander. Want to just carry as much speed as you can and just make sure you keep the car stable as well through the exit. And now, of course, this corner can make you spin or have you go wide, but luckily for him, he hasn't invalidated. So look, seems very unstable. Of course, you can see him out of the right-hander as well, that he was losing the rear. But of course, through the penultimate, and he gets up on the curb as well. Really not a great lap that he's... yeah, and he's going to go into the pit lane. Now, Sylvain Vezier is going to be the next one, I think, or at least we'll stay on board. I'll make sure to point out if someone goes quicker, as I think Matt has actually gone quicker, or someone did, at least it was Hamrick actually. So Enzo de Toit goes 9th then. So Sylvain Vezier also on the mediums. Good few people on the mediums, as you would expect at this point in the qualifying session. Is Sylvain Vezier now opening up the DRS? What can he do? And he's going to go 7th, second best on the medium tyre, and exactly a 10th away from Kieran Spears. Why is my controller not working? Okay. There we go. As it looks like Matt's going quicker. Of course, he said his first time on the mediums, so he's going to be looking for at least a provisional pole position at this stage. As of course through turn 13 and through the final of turn 14, he'll carry all the speed through. Doesn't actually get anywhere close to the curb, has to correct his car a little bit if anything, and he's going to go 4th at 16.1, about 3/10 away from the top 3 places. Adam Corrigan, of course, on a 15.8, just behind Adrian Lennon, who both of them actually are back out on track now. As so is Tim Brustalens now, as he's just coming out of his final corner. He's actually on a lap. What can he do? He's only going to manage 4th fastest at the moment on the softs. Of course, 16.0 wasn't able to get into the 15s. Of course, this Tim Brustalens second in the championship, 3 points trailing on Ross Denham, who still hasn't gotten the session yet. If he wasn't able to join, of course, I don't think Tim would mind all too much. But for the sake of the championship, I do hope Ross eventually gets in, as he has 8 minutes left. Oh, and what's this? It looks like Adrian Lennon was just being held up there on his lap, as now he's going to let the AlphaTauri through. Don't think he's going to be any bit happy about that, but we'll go on board then with Adam Corrigan, who, according to the track map, has a purple Sector 1. You can see Mercedes on the left there, just getting out of the way. I think he may have actually got damage there. I'm not sure. As we continue on board with Adam Corrigan's lap, he's got a little bit more traffic as the Red Bull goes a little bit deep, it seems, as he loses the rear going through the right-hander. Luckily doesn't invalidate on the exit. Now this right-hander, you want to get up on the curb, but make sure you don't go too wide, as he has gone too wide. Luckily he doesn't get invalid, as he's going quicker, as you can see from the timings, as he's going to be going through the penultimate corner. Of course, the left-hander and the right-hander, very long corners, and you can easily lose the rear end going through, especially the penultimate, but also the final corner if you were to clip the inside. But he's going to go across the line, and he's not going to get provisional pole position, just over a 10th away from Ehrman's time of a 15.5, and he's going to have to settle for 2nd place at the moment. As is Louis Quinn on the lap? I'm not sure. I guess we'll see. It doesn't say purple And he's 5 tenths down. Yeah, so he's not going to be on a lap then. As Connor Setchell, I can say, is on a lap. Of course, he won his debut just a few weeks ago back in Austria, and he's been on the podium quite consistently. And he'll be looking, of course, to repeat the former glories and get himself on a podium, or maybe even a win. Again, taking his second win of the season is what it would be. As, of course, crossing over the first sector line, as Ehrman has actually improved on his own lap. He's extended his advantage at the top of 15.4 now, is what people need to beat. Connor Setchell is going to be one of the people looking to beat this, of course. Going through the chicane, just keeps it stable enough as he gets up on the curbs. On the inside there, as he goes wide, again, he's not being invalidated. I'm starting to think maybe that it's on regular corner cutting, but he goes very, very wide there, as Adam Corrigan used that line as well to complete his lap to put him second, as doesn't look like he was purple in sector 2, so we'll see what Connor Setchell can do. He's going wide again, and he's actually going to go into the pit lane. So the next one, Ehrman did settle up, so he's going to be on his in lap. Adrian Lennon is behind Tim Stalins, and then looks like a Williams or something. No, that's... well then who's the other one? I can never tell. Well, Matt's on a lap anyway. We'll go on board with Matt. Of course, opening up the DRS. And gets quite up on very awkward angle, and he's actually had to lift off. Surely he's going to abort the lap. As he is going to abort the lap, you can see he's, yeah, second half down. There's no coming back from that. As Tim Stalins is going to be the next person to cross over the line. I think this is going to be his final attempt in this qualifying session, because there's only 4.5 minutes left, pretty much. So on board then with Tim Stalins, who's been looking for his first win. He's got 4 poles in earlier in the season, of course, but just couldn't convert them. Today he's going to be looking for another pole position and give himself another 2 points. Of course, he took the 2 points back in Azerbaijan just last week, where he did fight for the win most of the race, but just wrong place, wrong time, unlucky circumstances meant that he couldn't stay there. So Tim Stalins now, of course, is going to be going through the chicane in a moment. Turns 6 and 7 this is, and then 8 and 9 the left and the right hander, just kind of S section if you will, as he's just keeping it tidy, keeping it within the track limits, of course. And now through this right hander, as he doesn't extend it rightfully, as he shouldn't, as 3 tenths up for Tim Stalins at the moment. This isn't quite going to be enough. It should put him probably second, I would say, by the end of the lap. He should have improved to second, but I don't think he's going to challenge Terminator to the point where he would like to, as he's going to be going through the final corner. Now, what can Tim Stalins do as he opens up DRS? He's going to improve, and it's only 3rd fastest for the German. Couldn't put it on provisional pole, and that's going to be the end of his qualifying session as well. As Adrian Lennon improves as well, and he goes second behind his teammate. Gets the front row lockout for Alpine once again, just under a tenth between those two. As Louis Quinlan is on his out lap, he's going to be starting a lap in a few moments. As I think Matt, surely not, is on another lap. I feel like, oh no, that's not Matt. That's Jack Uden in the other Mercedes, who's of course going through turns 2 and 3. Turn 3, you want to set yourself up nicely, make sure that you don't get a bad exit out of turn 2, and he's going to go a little bit too wide in turn 4 and invalidate his lap time. He's not going to do any better than 7th place, as Connor Setchell is a little bit behind him. He sticks within the track limits, as of course currently 8th. He didn't do so well in his previous attempt. He just went back into the pit lane, so he's going to be looking to improve on his time once again. As of course through turns 8 and turns 9. As I think there may be someone up ahead who's also on a lap. As is it? No, it's not Louis Quinlan. And Connor Setchell, as we say that, invalidates his lap, so he's not going to be able to be improving at all. An invalid lap from Jack Uden, of course, who else is there? That's Adrian Lennon just coming into the pit lane as we laps. Connor Setchell, it looks like, is going to be going for another lap as Adrian Lennon retires, of course, after setting his final lap. He's not going to have time to set another lap, as surely then, nope. Just see if anyone's ahead on their laps. This is a McLaren behind Jack Uden. He's gonna have to get out of the way, I think, unless they're on outlap. It might be Vezier, actually, as it is Vezier. Some people, I think, have left their outlaps a little late as well, as Connor Setchell looks to be going for it once again, as I think he is currently the only one on the lap, as Adam Corrigan's behind him. So we'll go to Adam Corrigan once we finish up with Connor Setchell, as of course he'll be going through the chicane in a second. He's got a little bit of traffic up ahead just down the road, you can just about see it, but I don't think it should affect him by the end of his lap, as he goes right up on the curb. Don't want to be doing that, because it just risks your car for a spin, very unwanted spin as well. But he is 5/10 up at the moment, which means he should be challenging for about 5th place. It should be looking at about a 16-0. A little bit held up by the McLaren. Sylvain Vezier was getting out of the way there on the right hand side, was on the racing line though, shouldn't have been there, as Connor Setchell of course will be still looking to improve however he can, as across the line he's going to go 6th, and it's a 16.1 for him, as of course Timber Salience has finished up. Adam Corrigan now is going to be next to go across the line, as he's correcting his rear, is just losing the rear going through the penultimate corner, but through the final corner now and up onto the curb as well. He's going to be looking for an improvement, and he can't improve on his position, unfortunately, and he remains 3rd fastest at the moment, as Matt is going quicker. He's set a purple sector 1 at the moment, as of course he's going through turn 5 and then turn 6 and 7, the chicane, of course, as is there someone ahead who's going to be finishing up a time? I'll just go on board with Terminator. No, he's finished up and probably going to be going to the pit lane. So back on board then with Matt, and he's going to be going across the 2nd sector split. He's gone very, very, very wide, as it looks like he's not up or down on his time at the moment, as of course now through turn 13, want to be careful with the curve on the inside, but also on the outside on the entry. And then the final corner, just want to chuck your car in and then just smooths it out at the exit and across the line. He's going to improve just a little bit and put himself 7th on the grid. Connor Setchell hardly could be going for another lap, as yeah, he's run out of fuel. So that's going to be the end for that, and I think everyone is pretty much done. Ross Denham, luckily for him, got back into the lobby, so he's going to be starting 16th at the moment, unless someone gets surprisingly disqualified, which I can't see happening. So I'll just check. There was some comments. Not a full grid. Well, no, Ross is C. Jared. Told you, Ross got in. And Adrian had some problems with his laps, unfortunately. Tim lost 2/10 on one of his laps at least, and yeah, it's just the game, Ermin, unfortunately. But speaking of you, Ermin, of course, you're on pole position. Adrian Lennon 2nd, Adam Corrigan 3rd, Timber Salience in 4th, Kieran Spears 5th, Louis Cunningham 6th, Matt 7th, Connor Setchell in 8th, Jack Uden in 9th, and Sylvain Vezier rounds out the top 10. Hamrick is going to be starting in 11th, a very good starting position for him. And then with no times, it's Luke Baker, Tom Spicer, Billy Mossam, Shane Collier, Ross Denham, of course, because he joined late, Ivan Kingsley, and as normal, it's Matt Romano at the back of the grid. Yeah, you shouldn't be able to extend it as much as people are doing. And I mean, I guess you could report it. I mean, you have to be within the white lines. It's in the rules pretty clearly. But I don't know. Yeah, that's what I thought about that as well, Adrian, if it was on regular. But I I don't know. I've seen people invalidate normally as well, because the left-hander of turn 4 usually invalidates you if you go a little bit wide, and people have been getting invalidated there. So, I don't know. I hope it's not. It would be a mistake by the host if it was on. But we are away then for the formation lap. Of course, the Alpines lead a 1-2, a front row lockout at the moment. They're going to be looking into the race. I'm not sure if they took a front row lockout in Austria as well, but I know both cars were very much up there fighting for the win all those weeks ago as well. So maybe a similar situation. Adam Corrigan's put himself in third, but I know he does usually go well around Hungary, and Tim Brusselin's fourth. But crucially in the championship though, his closest rival is in 16th. On the mediums, better strategy, but he's got a lot of overtaking to do. And don't count out Adrian Lennon either. Of course, he put himself in second. He's 21 points away from Ross, but if he can pull a win out of the bag here today, maybe if Erminator was going to help him along with it as well. I don't know. Their team strategy's up to them, but Adrian Lennon is the one who's, if it was either of them, it would be Adrian to take the championship between the two. But you never know. Adam Corrigan as well in third, between two title rivals at the moment, with absolutely nothing to lose. Of course, he's just going to be looking for a win. If he doesn't get a win, so be it. If he does, for it, I can't really see any reason why he wouldn't. Of course, there's a lot at stake for Adrian. Adrian can't be making any mistakes if he wants to come back in the championship today. And Ivan Kingsley as well, down in 17th. Can't count him out. He's he's 14 points, if I remember correctly, away from Ross Denholm. But there we have then, of course, Adrian is in second, Tim in fourth, Ross Denholm in 16th, and Ivan Kingsley down in 17th. Those are the four people that we'll have to pay attention to today, as it's lights out and away we go. The front two get away. Well, it looks like as they're fairly even as they barrel down towards turn 1. Tim Brusselin's looking in for a second. There's the two Alpha Tauris go side by side. In the background, Adam Corrigan's got past Adrian Lennon as he's even putting pressure on Ehrman. There's a Haas going through. Kieran Spears has looked to have a very good start there, as Louis Quinlan and Tim Brusselin's going side by side. Louis, I think, would yield to his teammate as there's been a massive crash. Who's that in the background? That's a Mercedes and a Red Bull. That's of Jack Uden and Enzo de Toit. It's a virtual, and of course it's going to be upgraded to a full safety car, as Ross Denholm. What's happened to Ross Denholm actually? Does he have damage, or is he just behind? I don't know. He does have damage. So the championship leader has had problems at the start. Erminator got away well, of course. He continues to lead this race. Adam Corrigan in second. Adrian Lennon dropping, of course, down to third. Kieran Spears. I'll just check quickly. Okay, he actually started fifth. It felt like he started down further, but well, in that case, then Kieran Spears just jumped Tim Brusselin's for fourth place, and of course now the Alpha Tauris run fifth and sixth. So it's going to be interesting who's going to take an opportunity to pit. Adrian Lennon is going to take the opportunity. Kieran Spears and Louis Quinlan, interestingly. Of course, he's going to be double stacking with his teammate. Connor Setchell is also going to go in. I don't really think they had to, unless they have damage, as Tim Brusselin's gets a fresh set of mediums on. Kieran Spears is going away as well. Connor Setchell has got away with a fresh set of soft tires. Interesting choice from him, as Louis Quinlan finally gets his mediums on. And Ross Denholm after his pit stop, and he's just getting a wing now. He's going to remain. It's going to be very interesting what's going to come of that incident from Jack Uden and Enzo de Toit, because I cannot see a crash like that not being reported. one thing, this is actually very beneficial for Ivan, because he's 6th, of course. The other 3 kind of in the title fight are outside of the points currently. As Jack Huden just leaves the session. Alright. Really much to say, to be honest. Everyone's caught up. Should be getting underway at the end of this lap. Then it will be up to Ermin when they want to go, of course. And he can bring it all the way up to the line. And there you go, safety car in this lap, and it's the Alpine of Ermin who's gonna decide how slow or fast they go, and when the grid actually goes itself. Of course, when he goes, that's when everyone else goes. It looks like he hasn't slowed down the grid all too much, as we get a nice shot of turn 13, and it looks like he's going now. So we are going to be racing out of the final corner, of course, and we're going to get green flags. So we are back to racing here in Hungary, and Adam Cargan is going to try and chase the Alpine all the way down towards turn 1, but I don't think it's going to quite be enough. As, of course, going through turn 1, Ermin is going to retain his lead. But right up the back of him now, Adam Cargan, who may look down the inside of turn 2, as he's going to be sensible, and he's going to stick behind for now as his yellow flags down at, well, outside of the points. It was as Tom Spicer has had an incident, it seems, and he's round and out of the points, very much so, into last place. As it looks like Luke Baker hasn't had the best restarters. He's fallen off the top 4 a little bit, and even Ivan Kingsley as well. As I'll just change this so everyone just following through, as Billy Mossum's slowing down, and now he's letting Ross Denham through as well. Maybe it was him that caused the incident, and maybe he feels bad. I don't know. As we see Ivan Kingsley closing up to the back of Luke Baker. Of course, Ermin sets the fastest lap of the race, the first lap that we've got to properly go racing here, as Ivan is going to be maybe closing. It doesn't actually look like it. If anything, Luke Baker was actually pulling away on that previous straight. As out of turn 1, Ivan Kingsley's not going to be close enough, and he's going to have to stick behind for another lap. You can see that Ivan definitely has the pace over him, but just not making it work. I must just check on Timber Stalins, who's got into the points once again. Adrian Lennon's up into 8th at the moment, and you can see Ivan Kingsley as well. one thing that's nice is that 3rd and 4th in the championship are ahead of 1st and 2nd in the championship. And of course as well, 2nd is ahead of 1st. At the moment, Tim will just close up by a singular point. As Adam Corrigan still trying to hunt down Ehrman for the lead of the race, as going very wide. Adam Corrigan really shouldn't be doing that. As of course through turn 12, Adam Corrigan's going to be looking for a move into turn 1. He's not going to have DRS yet, but he seems to have the pace to stick with Ehrman at the moment, as through the final corner using ERS. Of course Ehrman's going to respond and use ERS, as well as on the back Sylvain Vezier is trying to make a move on Matt in the Mercedes, as he's just not close enough at the moment, trying to get a bit of a switchback line using all of the hairpin curb. And closing up towards turn 2, just not close enough on this occasion, as we just get a view here. Tim Mercedes and Adrian Lennon not able to make a move on the previous straight, as the Haas of Kieran Spears looking down the inside of Adrian Lennon almost briefly there, as Ivan Kingsley still is behind Billy Mossam at the moment, as they all funnel through. Connor Sechel's right at the back of Tim Brusalens, and it looks like Ross Denham's actually fallen off the pack a little bit. As you can see how close it is, everyone very close. As Luke Baker's gone a little bit wide, and he's going to get passed by Shane there, and also Adrian Lennon's going to try it, and he's just about going to go through. Kieran Spears is also going to go through, and so is Tim Brusalens and Connor Sechel. So unfortunately for Luke, he's just lost a lot of positions. As of course he was running, I think it was 6th, or well, he was running 5th. He was ahead of Ivan Kingsley there. Ivan Kingsley now the leader of the train, as everyone just pretty much went through. Also just see, I think the McLaren's going to be making a move on Ivan Kingsley as Shane Keller down the inside of the Ferrari, and he doesn't even need to be. He's got the move done before the hairpin, and he's up into 5th place as Tim Brusalens on the back of Kieran Spears trying to close up down towards turn 2, just not close enough, as Ivan Kingsley's actually gone a little bit wide. Might allow Adrian Lennon to get a little bit closer. He is actually getting quite a bit closer as they go down towards turn 4, just not close enough though to put any pressure on the Ferrari driver, and they're going to continue as they were. As Adam Corrigan really sticking with her, and you can see the gaps at the moment that's forming, as you can see the fight for the lead here. As Adam Corrigan again extends there, trying to close up. Is this a fight? Matt and Sylvain Vezier going side by side going into turn 12, as the McLaren is just going to squeeze out the Mercedes and go up into the podium places. But we'll go on board now with Adam Corrigan. Ehrman now into the pit lane, so this is going to allow Adam Corrigan to take the lead of the race for the moment. Ehrman, where is he going to come out though? He's probably going to come out pretty much in last, you would expect. Maybe ahead of Matt Romano and Tom Spicer, but I think it would be a little bit of a stretch, as someone else was pitting there. Were they? They weren't actually. As Adrian Lennon looking down the inside of Ivan Kingsley, of course this move would be crucial for him as he closes up once again, going down towards turn 2, just not close enough, as Tim Brusalens can't get close enough to Kieran Spears either, as they go down through turn 3. Everyone just following in the train, as Shane at the front of it just pulling away a little bit. What's happened here? There's yellow flags for some reason. Don't know why. As you can see, Louis Quinlan getting closer and closer to the back of Luke Baker. There's been a crash ahead. Is that a McLaren? It is a McLaren. Shane Keller is around. Why he's round is another question. Louis Quinlan looking on the inside of Luke Baker, and he's going to be able to make that move fairly simply now. In turn 12 and up into the points for him. The two Ferraris now 8th and 9th at the moment, as of course they're going through the final corner, opening up the DRS. They have DRS in activation now, as Kieran Spears is going to be trying to close up to Adrian Lennon. He's got so much overspeed, and he's going to go on the inside of Adrian as well, side by side between the two of them. Kieran Spears trying to make this work, just not close enough, as maybe he's going to look down the inside as well. He is going to look down the inside. He's going to maybe outbrake himself though. Adrian Lennon surely going to get a switchback line and go around the outside of turn 3, but he's going to give up there. And Kieran Spears, I should say, up into 4th place. As what's happened there? Okay, it's just yellow flags. It's just a game, bad game. Connor Setchell still on the back of Timber Salins, of course, and the two Ferraris have closed up to each other, of course. They're both in a championship fight with each other, so I can't really see either of them giving an extra inch, despite them being teammates, if they ended up side by side. As Louis Cunnan picks up a 3-second time penalty. Sylvain Vezier, actually Ross Denham as well, and Shane Keller all doing the same earlier on as well. As into the pit lane for Adam Corrigan. He goes over the curb a little bit, but he's into the pit lane now. Right now, Ehrman is following behind Tom Spicer. As now, Sylvain Vezier is going to inherit the lead of the race. Matt is going to go into second, and Kieran is going to get promoted into the podium place. As you can see, Adam Corrigan there getting out of the pit lane. As you can see, Ehrman on the racetrack in a second at least. As actually, he's going to jump him. He's going to jump him quite significantly. You can see this is where Tom Spicer is, and he's still holding up Ehrman at the moment. Adam Corrigan made the overcut work, and now he's in a net P1. Once everyone else pits, he will find himself leading this race. So could Adam Corrigan maybe go for his first win of the season? As of course F2 has had a tendency to get people to get as many wins as possible. Of course, the first 6 races saw 6 different winners until Ross Denham became the first repeat winner. Kieran Spears the only other repeat winner at the moment, and Timber Salins also is due a win at some point. As side by side, I think maybe the two Ferraris. Looks like Ivan may have actually slid him through there. As everyone's really closing up now, as Kieran Spears trying to defend from Adrian Lennon, who's going to have the DRS in a second, and he's going to open it up here, as Kieran Spears also going to have the DRS open, so it's just slipstream that Adrian's going to be benefiting from compared to the Haas at the moment, as he's going to try and brake later, try and get a cutback line, but just isn't going to be able to make it work, and Kieran Spears is going to remain in P2 at the moment. Timber Salins just watching on, biding his time in some ways, just seeing what can happen. As Ross Denham gets another 3-second time penalty. Not good for him, but I don't think Timber Salins will mind it. At the moment, Timber Salins will take the lead of this race for what I think is the first time in the season. As now Billy Mossam also picks up a 3-second time penalty. As these two, Adrian Lennon and Timber Salins, both very much in a championship fight. You can't count out either of them. Of course, Timber Salins 3 points behind, but even 21 points behind, anything can happen. If he were to take a win and the other three had bad luck, he could find himself leading the championship after this race. And of course, this race isn't over, as Adrian Lennon is trying to hunt down Kieran Spears, but Kieran actually has just set a fastest lap of the race there. Has no battery whatsoever. That's a sight to see from Louis Quinnan's car. Adam Corrigan's got a little bit of clean air to drive in, as someone's gone around there. That's Williams of Billy Mossam, who's running currently last, and that's actually him getting lapped. So not going to affect Adam Corrigan at all. And now looks like Louis Quinnan's actually going to go on the inside of Ivan Kingsley. He looked for it, but just wasn't able to make it work. That's Adam Corrigan. He was in the net lead, of course, until now. Erminator is going to retake the net lead at the moment. Adam Corrigan was leading. He was in clean air and all on his own. finds himself out of the points. I think he can still salvage something from the race, but something he really, really didn't need. And really something he shouldn't have let happen either. I know for certain he's going to be annoyed with himself anyway. As we get a very nice shot of the rear wing from Adrian Lennon's car. These three continue to just follow in their own little train at the moment, as does Ross Denham, Ivan Kingsley, and Louis Quinlan as Erminator. Oh, Erminator is actually making an overtake now, as he's got past Luke Baker finally, and now up into 8th place, as we'll just change here. 19 seconds between himself and Sylvain Vezier. But of course that gap will be coming down all the way until Vezier's pit stop. Oh no, now Adam Corrigan spun again at the same corner, but this time he's out of the race, and this time it's going to be a safety car, second safety car of the day, of course. And Sylvain Vezier is going to be he should be happy with that, because of course he can now take a free pit stop and should be well ahead of Ehrman now. All the medium runners who are staying out have been blessed. Ross Denham is going to be able to use this opportunity to pit. Ivan Kingsley's going to pit, of course. Pretty much everyone's actually going to pit at the moment, as Erminator is going to stay out and he's going to see what he can do on those hards at the end of the race. Vezier, of course, also puts on the hard tires. Is it going to be close between the two? You can see Vezier out of the pit lane, but Erminator still is going to get ahead of the McLaren, and he's going to take the lead of this race. Only tenths between them there, but the McLaren just couldn't do it. Just a little bit too slow. I mean, a pit entry could be the difference there, as everyone just funnels through here. You can see Vezier in second, Madden in third, Kieran Spears is going to take a fourth, Adrian Lennon in fifth, Connor Setchell actually jumps Tim Brusalens, it seems, for a 6th place. 7th is Tim Brusalens, and look what we have here now. Tim Brusalens on the mediums, Ross Denham on the hards, 7th and 8th, and of course it's the championship leader versus 2nd place, 3 points between them. So things could get a little heated between them, wanting to stay ahead of each other especially. As for Ivan, he's dropped down to 10th now. Very mixed between hards and mediums. Matt Romano has actually opted for the soft tyre, interestingly. As Billy Mossam is going to have to, yeah, unfortunate for him. He's just going to have to join the grid. A lap down. As who is he ahead is actually the crucial thing. He's ahead of Ivan Kingsley. And he's also lagging, and, well, lag has meant that he's going to get spun around. As Shane pits again for hards. Really should have been... Oh, what's happening here? He's lagging so much that the car on the track map itself is moving around. Oh my. Oh my. Yep. wouldn't be an F1 game if that wasn't the case. As he's found his way back to the track. I can actually go on board with him. Now I can. The safety car then is going to be in the next lap. And I'm going to get myself water because again, my voice is going. No, it's in this lap. Oh, damn. Oh. Never mind the water then. Of course, the last restart from Terminator, he just went pretty much straight away. And it looks like he's going to be going pretty much straight away. Once again, the McLaren of Vezier right on the back of him, though. Of course, both on hard tyres at the moment. As Ivan gets a 5-second pen with the collision with Billy Mossam, but I don't think that's really deserved. As yellow flags everywhere, it's really not. As Ehrman, of course, on the outside is going to go right around the outside and retake the lead of the race. Kieran Spears is following quite closely as well. As between the two title rivals, you can see they've remained where they were 7th for Tim and 8th for Ross Denholm. It's full yellow flags. I don't know, like, there's no VSC or anything. I think this is Billy's car doing this, honestly. Probably for the best if he just left. And I can't really tell if they're racing or not, honestly. It looks like they are, but if they're getting 5 seconds for trying to overtake each other, as a very nice exit off of turn 11, and he's going to go up into the lead, but yeah, he's going to have to let him through. They can't race. It's kind of ridiculous. Again, Vezier's going to be on the back of Ehrman, but I get the feeling if he went down the inside, he's going to get told to give the position back again. As he's looking down the inside, he's trying to get alongside. He is just about alongside. Ehrman's really trying to squeeze him on the right-hand side. He switches back to the left and dive bombs him, as just wasn't good enough. As now Kieran Spears might actually get an opportunity to go through, as actually he hasn't. Looks like maybe he got into a half spin or something. They're 3 wide for the lead of this race. Matt's trying to go through, as Erminator's going to retain his lead just about as Vezier goes through for second, as I think Matt maybe got hit off or something, or went wider, or whatever happened. Kieran Spears now up into 3rd, Matt down to 4th, and the top 2 remain where they were before. As again down the... Oh, there's desync. There's surely desync. It didn't look like Vezier was going for a move there, as, yeah, like, what do you want them to do? What do you want them to do? Yeah, Jared, the thing is seconds because they're not allowed to overtake. Okay, now they're allowed to overtake. Oh, that's ridiculous. Load of people got 5 seconds there and they just didn't deserve them. So now, Kieran Spears, I can say, is looking for a move. Erminator has pit for some reason or other, which allows Vezier to take the lead of the race. Ross Denholm is in 9th, Ivan Kingsley in 8th, so those two who have been looking good in the championship throughout the season, really. At the moment, not doing well, is now actually Tom Spicer making a move on Ross Denholm, and he's actually been successful as well. Ross Denholm now down to 10th, as Tom Spice is going to be looking for a move now, maybe on Ivan Kingsley. Jeez, I don't know why I'm forgetting names. And Tim Brusalians and Adrian Lennon, of course, looking at a pretty good race for themselves, because Tim Brusalians will take the championship lead, but won't pull away from Adrian if it ends like this. Adrian, of course, will pull away a little bit from, or well, will close the gap to Tim, who would be then the new championship leader. And especially you close the gap to people like Ross Sinham and Ivan Kingsley as well. So just check the fight for the lead again. Kieran Spears is looking for a move still. He's going to look to the outside mediums versus the hards. I think this move has been a long time coming, as Vezier's going to just squeeze him out as there's a safety car again. Has Luke Baker crashed or something? I don't really know. I think maybe it was Luke Baker. I don't see a car that's stricken anywhere. Is that Shane out? I mean, Shane's car stopped. Oh my god, this game is trash. This game is actually trash. Get it in the bin. This Billy Mossam then picks up another 3-second pen. Up to 11 seconds now. And he retires from the session. I think that's a good choice, to be honest. So now Vezier is going to be going into the pit lane for a fresh set of tyres. A few more people also doing the same. Tim Brusalians now is going to get promoted into 3rd place. And I'll just make sure. It's just a 1.5 second. I'm just going to make sure, because if it's just a 5 second for... Yeah, I'll check this then. Would have been the last lap or so. Yeah. So if Tim finishes in 3rd and doesn't get any more penalties, I'm gonna bring him in for the interview, because he should be anyway.